Good morning. Welcome to another One Mind meditation. Our teacher for this week is Dyer. I have such a huge appreciation for his work. It really is timeless. So I've got a few thoughts from Dyer to share with you to lead us into today's meditation, but just a reminder before I get on that is, please remember that you get the best experience of your meditation if you try and make it as much of an inner experience as possible with as little outside distraction as you can. And for that, it helps to have your space as dark as it can be. And if your space is not dark enough, it might help to put on a sleeping mask to facilitate that for you. And also to have as little outside noise as possible, which means earphones probably are a great idea if you try and get into a meditation. Estelle, a very good morning. Sunmuddy, good morning. Linda, good morning. Anthony, good morning. Lynn, good morning. It is awesome seeing you all pop in. I hope that you will enjoy today's meditation as much as I enjoyed putting it together. Right, a few thoughts from Dyer. The first one is, self-esteem comes from the self. That's built into the word. Self-esteem comes from the self, not from acquisitions and approval. And that's why it's called self-esteem. I want to take a moment to help you understand the word. The word self-esteem means it is the ability to hold yourself in high esteem. Are you able to hold yourself in high esteem regardless of the messaging that you get from around you? How do we build this muscle of self-esteem? Sorry about that. I heard Brene Brown give a definition of self-esteem that sounded a little something like this. She said, self-esteem is when I can clearly see all of my flaws, when I can clearly see all of my flaws and still hold myself in high regard. That would be the best definition of self-esteem I've ever heard. And this is how we build that muscle, purposely coming face to face with our inadequacies, and at the same time expressing love for ourselves. This is how Dyer says it. He says, beginning today, make the decision to love and accept yourself just the way you are. Say your name followed by the words, I love you, and make this your daily mantra. Have you ever tried that? Say your name followed by the words, I love you, and making sure you do it every day. Repeat it often, especially during times of stress, says Dyer. Let it be your first thought upon rising and the last thing you think before falling asleep at night. Your name, followed by the words, I love you. The simple act of self-courtship can profoundly change your world. Try it for yourself and see. Make a personal decision to be in love with the most beautiful, exciting, worthy person ever. You. I love that so much. Dyer says, as you awaken to your divine nature, you'll begin to appreciate beauty in everything you see, touch, and experience. It is beautiful to have the kind of relationships where people acknowledge you, and that is the kind of relationships that we should strive for, being in relationships with human beings who acknowledge us. But if your self-worth is dependent on this outside validation, then it tends to sour even those relationships. It is impossible for another human to take on the job of filling your cup while they have so many of their own distractions. It has to be you. You are the only one who can always be there for you. The job is yours and mine and every one of us. Today's meditation is called The Observer. Are you ready to slide in with us? You can close your eyes and let's float away together, starting with the first few big breaths. Let's take a deep breath in and out. A deep breath in and out. A deep inhale and let it go. Deep breath in and out. One more big breath in and let it all flow away. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose gets drawn all the way deep down into your belly. And as you fill up your belly with air, also raise yourself up. As you breathe in, stretch out your spine, lift the top of your head toward the ceiling. And once you've reached your full height, let all of it go. So as you exhale, soften. As you breathe out, soften your spine. Slump down your shoulders and drop your head. Continue your own full body breathing while we put Wayne Dyer's words to practice practically. As you continue breathing in and out, just imagine for a moment you could step outside of yourself and look at you sitting there. Look at your body rising and also falling. Try saying your name while looking at you. Say your name. Can you follow the sound of your name with the words, I love you? Take a moment to watch you go to bed. See you put yourself to bed. Look at you lying there. Say your name. And are you able to follow it with the words, I love you? It is okay if none of this comes easy. It seems we were never taught to do this. Watch yourself wake up. See yourself open your eyes for the first time in the morning. Say your name as you watch yourself. And can you follow it with the words, I love you? And if it's at all possible, give yourself a kiss on the forehead. We have the last few big breaths of this phase to do together, helping our bodies stretch, adjust, and settle down into as much comfort as possible for the rest of our journey. Let's take a deep breath in. As you release, drop your head all the way forward and roll out your neck muscles, going forward and to the left, and also forward and to the right. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders forward in big, slow circles. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders backwards in big, slow circles. Take a deep breath in. As you release, focus on your spine. Drop your left ear towards your left hip, and then drop your right ear towards your right hip. You're leaning into your back muscles. Gently find the edges and slowly stretch into those edges. One more big breath in. And as you release, you can stretch or move or adjust any part of your body that still needs a bit of help settling down. Having softened our bodies into a state of presence as much as we are able to for the moment, we can now turn our attention inwards and dive deep inside, for the next part of our journey. With every next inhale, we'll hold our breath for a few short moments, followed by a long, slow exhale. If you don't have the time to sit for the whole meditation with us, this is a really good place to stop. If you are here for the rest of the journey too, we'll take the next few big breaths together. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, make it a really long, really slow exhale. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, feel into your body and feel how softness slowly settles into every muscle of your body. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, follow the downwards flow through your body. Feel your shoulders slowly falling, feel your body slowly softening, and feel how you are slowly slipping deeper into you. One more big breath in. And hold. And as you release, feel yourself melting. Feel your whole body dissolving. Feel how you are slipping into a deeper level of surrender with every slow exhale. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose gets drawn all the way deep down into your belly, and you are invited to follow the journey. As you breathe in, feel the air flow in through your nostrils. Feel the air touch the back of your throat. Stay with your breath as it flows in through your lungs. And as you fill up the balloon inside your belly, feel yourself slip all the way in. Hold your breath. But hold it only for as long as it feels easy, followed by a really long, really slow exhale. With your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, the reminder is our journey today is called The Observer, taking a step outside of yourself and looking at you. Can you see yourself sitting there? Take your next big breath. We heard from both teachers this morning, Brene Brown and Dyer, that self-esteem comes from self, comes from within, but also that self-esteem does not come from ignoring our flaws, from pretending that we don't have any flaws. Self-esteem comes from coming face to face with our flaws and still holding ourselves in high regard. So for today's journey, I want you, as we take a deep breath and dive deep inside, I want you to find the latest incident where the way you handled it is something you're not quite proud of. Perhaps the latest trigger, the way you responded, is something you'd like to do differently. Do you have an example? And maybe you've really been working hard at this, and the last example might not be that recent, and you have to search further back. But as you take your next big breath and dive deep inside, find the latest, the last incident, moment, experience where the way you showed up is something you're not particularly proud of. Take your next big breath. So we're going to really look into this experience. I want you to take, as much as you can, a step outside of yourself and form a clear picture of that version of you in that experience. We're going to watch it replay again. We're going to watch this moment that you're not so proud of without looking away, without pretending it didn't happen. Because those are not empowering. The empowering part is to look at you, come face to face with, let's call it the worst parts of you, and still have high regard for the human you are. As you take your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, make that picture of that version of you as clear as you can. Take your next big breath. To make this picture as clear as possible, could you perhaps remember what you were wearing when you had that experience? Take your next big breath. As you take your next big breath and dive deep into you, see if you are able to remind yourself of what were the thoughts going through your mind in that moment. What were the things you were thinking about as you had this experience? Take your next big breath. As you take your next big breath and dive deep into you, from this point of being the observer, are you able to see what the expression was on your face? Could you see what your body language looked like? Perhaps how you moved your arms? Take your next big breath. And the next question is really important. As you take a look at that version of you, when you take a big breath and dive deep into you, I want you to ask that version of you a question. Perhaps you'll even get an answer, and if you do, it might help you really understand that version of you. It might help you understand why that reaction. So as you take a big breath and as you dive deep in, look at this version of you, say your name and ask, in that moment, what was it that you were afraid would happen? What were you afraid was going to happen? Take your next big breath. And then the most important part. As you take your next big breath and dive deep inside, take a look at this version of you, this very triggered version of you. Say your name. And could you possibly follow that by, I love you? Could you look at yourself being, this might be true or not true, but being the worst version of you, being a moment that you're not proud of, and still look at you and go, I get you, I understand you, I love you. Take your next big breath. And if the same set of circumstances were to play out again, if the same thing that triggered you in that moment was to occur again, and you feel that trigger coming on again, how would you like to deal with it differently? Step into that moment, and with a gift of hindsight, how would you like to respond differently instead of being reactive? What are the thoughts that you want to think if you encounter the same trigger again? What are the words that you want to say if you had the opportunity to do it again? And what would you want your body language to be? What would you want the expression on your face to be as you deal with the same trigger again? Take your next big breath. We have the last few big breaths of this phase to do together. Slipping out of the breath holding space and into the next. And one more time, look at the triggered version of you from that example. And please know, or please make this person, this version of you, understand that. This is not an attempt to say every trigger has to be handled perfectly from now on. We get that we'll probably still make mistakes, still sometimes deal with things in a less than ideal way, but we're practicing. We are getting better at this, even if it's slow, even if it's baby steps. Let's take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, make it a really long, really slow exhale. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, invite softness to settle into every cell of your body. One more big breath in. And hold. And as you release, feel yourself slip all the way through. There is no more attention on your breathing. You can sit all the way back or lie all the way back down and feel yourself just floating. I want to read to you Wayne Dyer's words one more time. He says, beginning today, make the decision to love and accept yourself just the way you are. Say your name followed by the words, I love you, and make this your daily mantra. Repeat it often, especially during times of high stress. Let it be your first thought upon arising and the last thing you think before falling asleep at night. This simple act of self-courtship can profoundly change your world. Try it for yourself and see. Make a personal decision to be in love with the most beautiful, exciting, worthy person ever. You. It is beautiful when we have the kinds of relationships where people acknowledge us. But if your self-worth is dependent on this outside validation, it tends to sour even those beautiful relationships. It is impossible for another human to take on the job of filling your cup while they have so many of their own distractions. It has to be you. You are the only one who can always be there for you. And the thing is, when we do really show up for ourselves, when we do really not need any outside validation anymore because our love within is so complete, then we give those humans around us the space to be themselves. We allow them to have their flaws too. We can look at their flaws and still say, you know what, I love you. This becomes a mutually very supportive relationship with all the humans around us. But if we're not quite full, if we're not quite whole, and we desperately need that validation from around us, then we hold those humans to a way too high standard. Then they're not allowed to be wrong. They're not allowed to say the wrong thing. They're not allowed to be flawed as well. It has to be you. You are the only one who can love yourself to wholeness. We have the last 5 breaths of gratitude to do together. With every exhale, I'll say my thank you, and I invite you to say yours. Let's take a deep breath in. Thank you for the journey to me. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for the journey towards understanding that it really has to be me. I am the only one who can love myself to wholeness. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for really seeing the sweetness and the ease that my own wholeness brings to my relationships. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for seeing how our own love, our own acceptance for the human that we are helps facilitate the people around us to take a step towards their own wholeness, their own love, their own acceptance for the human they are. One more big breath in. Thank you, beautiful people. Thank you for being a part of our journey today. Thank you for showing up for you. Thank you for doing your work to love yourself to wholeness. It has a ripple effect you will never fully see. How your wholeness heals the world around you. Jesse, a very good morning. It's awesome seeing you. Michelle, good morning. Hello, awesome seeing you too. Ingo, a very good morning to you, dude. Hope you have a bit of time to sit down with us. Thank you, Estelle. Thank you, Maggie. What a beautiful comment. Thank you, Sunmoney. Thank you, Pat. Good morning. It's so good to see you. And Anthony and Linda and whoever else is in the background I can't see right now. Have an awesome day. Make your first thought in the morning your love for you. And try and remember that be your last thought at night. Thank you, Leshna. Have a beautiful day. Lynn, thank you so much for being here today. It's a huge pleasure, Jesse. Have a great day, everyone. Ciao, ciao.